Picture this, it's 2008, I'm 9 years old, Omnitrix slapped on my wrist and I'm on the way to the cinema to watch the new Iron Man film. And I was in awe. Sure, the CG and the story were great, but what really captured my imagination was J.A.R.V.I.S, the AI assistant that could do basically anything. And that was it then. For the next 18 years, I wanted a real-life J.A.R.V.I.S. And then Siri came out, and Alexa, and Google Assistant, and finally I thought we've done it. We've made J.A.R.V.I.S. But no! Sure, J.A.R.V.I.S can play some tunes, but that's not what makes J.A.R.V.I.S so sick. J.A.R.V.I.S can make secret projects, understands engineering, like actually does stuff. And then Chat-GPT came out, along with Claude and a bunch of other LLMs that you may or may not have heard of. And they could finally hold a conversation, write code, explain engineering topics to you, but they still can't do stuff. So after 18 years of waiting, I decided
I'll do it myself.
Swap the OBS scene to full cam.
Give me a spanner, a sandbox, and a safety catch, and I can help build the next version of myself.
Right, gamers, we need an AI base for J.A.R.V.I.S, and I'm going to be using Chat-GPT because it is, say it with me, I'm going to say it's the best option, because it's the easiest option. Yeah, that's about all there is to that choice. But we need to first speak with J.A.R.V.I.S. So the first thing we're going to do is touch some grass, you friggin' nerd. Fine.
So in the films, J.A.R.V.I.S is always listening, but I'm not a billionaire and I'm definitely not creating an always-on surveillance orb for my bedroom. So we need a wake word, kind of like, Alexa, play Never Gonna Give You Up. And luckily, someone far smarter than me has already done all of the hard work. So I just need to integrate that wake word library, and then we can get J.A.R.V.I.S listening.
Hey, J.A.R.V.I.S? Oh, fucking hell.
Once J.A.R.V.I.S can hear me, I need to turn whatever nonsense I say into text, because I'm not sending raw audio files to Chat-GPT. Partly because it's overkill, and partly because I like paying rent. So instead, I use OpenAI's transcription model locally to turn my voice into text that I can send to Chat-GPT. Other LLMs are available through its API. What's an API? I'm busy, you're gonna have to Google it. Fine. It's basically a way that I can talk to ChatGPT through my code without copy-pasting prompts into the web app
like a goddamn Neanderthal.
So, with a few pre-built libraries doing the heavy lifting, J.A.R.V.I.S can now hear me, transcribe what I say, and send it off to ChatGPT, which is great, but it's only half a conversation. J.A.R.V.I.S needs to be able to talk back. So for that, I use another API, this time hooked up to a text-to-speech engine that can turn the response into an actual voice.
Hey, J.A.R.V.I.S, what is the most common streaming platform?
Certainly. The most common streaming platform is generally considered to be YouTube Live.
And boom, now all we need to do is make it do stuff. Can we be done outside now? Oh, hello, you found the B plot. So as I mentioned, we want to do stuff, but to do stuff, we need to make things do some things, right? In order to make J.A.R.V.I.S do something cool, we're going to need some homebrewed electronics. This is an ESP32, basically a wireless microcontroller, and this is a relay, and then this is a battery pack that we may not end up using. You may wonder why these are already soldered together in a really haphazard way, and it's actually because I failed to do something you'll see a clip of later on. But this will work well for what we need it to do, and what we need it to do is to connect to this. But you'll see more of that later in the video. Right now we've got to go back to the explanation. Now, doing stuff is the really important part, but let's quickly go over what we already have. So we have a Python app that's acting as our interface with ChatGPT, and that's kind of ugly. Let's give it a little bit of a front end, and boom, that's a little bit easier to look at. Now this Python app does everything that we've already talked about. It checks for the wake word, records the audio, transcribes it, sends it to ChatGPT, and speaks it. Bosh. Now let's do some stuff. You may or may not have heard of a thing called tool calling. And if you have, then you know more than I did a month into this project. Stupid. Tool calling is a way that an LLM can use an external API or tool. And without knowing it, I basically invented my own way of doing it. Was that strictly speaking necessary? Anyway, how pretty much all LLM APIs work is you can send a user message just like you can through a web app, but you can also send a system message. And this is where we can tell the AI about itself. Basically, give it a personality, and that's actually how I was able to get my Zing doorbell to roast my friend.
Do you moonlight as a retired geography teacher?
You're not just limited to giving it a personality in here, you can give it whatever information you want. So if I create my own API, create my own rule set on how it can create an API message, and then tell it to respond in a very specific way, then my Python app can actually send the message. And because I control my API completely, I can make it do whatever I want. That was all very waffly, so let me show you an example. I was actually live streaming me creating basically the whole of J.A.R.V.I.S on Twitch. So the first thing I had it do was change my OBS scene. So we give it the URL of our OBS scene change endpoint and a list of the different OBS scenes that it can change to, and tell it to respond in a JSON format. What JSON is exactly doesn't hugely matter if you don't know, but in its simplest form, it's the easiest way for me to be able to use the data that GPT sends back to me. My Python app can read that data and then go, oh okay, let's send a HTTP call to said URL. My API then does boring code stuff and boom, OBS scene is switched.
Hey J.A.R.V.I.S, can you change my OBS scene to full cam?
Switching to full cam, sir. Time to put the genius on display.
Okay.
Now I can take this basic methodology and just scale it up to a bunch of different API endpoints. It can open up applications and open up web pages, but you might be thinking, snooze, let me know when it can take over the world. If you want an AI apocalypse, I'll give you an AI apocalypse. First things first, one API call per go, boring. How about as many as it takes? First, I'll give it a context and it can store indefinitely. When you use the web app, it actually sends your entire chat thread, but as I alluded to earlier, this shit costs money, so fuck that. So we're gonna get J.A.R.V.I.S to generate its own context each time, so we can keep it nice and bare bones and simple. We can now basically just tell J.A.R.V.I.S that if it doesn't think it can do whatever I've asked it to do in one call, then it can use as many calls as it wants to try and get the outcome. My first application of this was actually pretty simple and not very AI apocalypse. I wanted it to create and edit Google Documents. Sounds pretty simple. The cool part is I can say, hey J.A.R.V.I.S, update my Google Doc about building a real life J.A.R.V.I.S and change every instance of the word J.A.R.V.I.S to Friday. It can then go, oh.
Editor Matt here. I realized I didn't do a very good job explaining how this works, and it's also not very interesting, so I'm going to go on the computer and show you it working, and hopefully it's more interesting and I explain it better. Okay, so we have our J.A.R.V.I.S here, and we can make it create a Google Doc. Hey J.A.R.V.I.S, create a Google Doc all about yourself, J.A.R.V.I.S. Now, this only requires one action. It will just create the document.
A modest autobiography, sir. I've committed my finest qualities to a fresh Google Doc, tastefully understated as ever.
So you see it came back with a response, and it's telling us what it wrote in there, and it's called All About J.A.R.V.I.S. Brilliant. Now if we go into our Google Docs, we will see All About J.A.R.V.I.S has been created. But I've just remembered, J.A.R.V.I.S isn't always called J.A.R.V.I.S. J.A.R.V.I.S is sometimes called Friday. So now we can go back to J.A.R.V.I.S and say, hey J.A.R.V.I.S, can you update my Google Doc about All About J.A.R.V.I.S and change every instance of the word J.A.R.V.I.S to Friday?
Fetching your document library now, sir. I shall locate All About J.A.R.V.I.S and prepare the necessary substitution.
See, now it's got the list of all the documents, and now it's going to be able to pick from that list.
Located the document in question, sir. Retrieving its contents now, so I may perform the J.A.R.V.I.S to Friday substitution.
See, now it does that one, it's got the ID, and it can get the content.
Done, sir. Every J.A.R.V.I.S has been supplanted by Friday throughout All About J.A.R.V.I.S.
And there we go. Now it has been able to get the content, it's been able to change the content and then update that. So now if we go onto this Google Doc, it's all about Friday, name Friday. Okay, it didn't change the acronym. It could have done that. And it's written all about itself, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. Now we can go back to the video.
Yeah lad, that's sick and everything, but it still ain't gonna take over the world. Oh, I'm not done yet, you little Now this is where shit gets real. This is where I let J.A.R.V.I.S go buck wild. So as I said, I was streaming this and I needed something to stream that day, but I didn't know what to make J.A.R.V.I.S do. So I asked J.A.R.V.I.S itself what it wanted to do, and it said this.
If I may be indulgent, give me a spanner, a sandbox, and a safety catch, and I can help build the next version of myself.
And whilst I was hesitant at first, I thought to myself, What could possibly go wrong? And then I promptly stopped thinking about what could go wrong and just did it anyway. I won't go into full detail on how this works. It's basically the same as the whole Google Doc thing, but this time I gave it access to the code, its own code. And it was pretty tame. It kind of just made itself look nicer, but it's still not going to be ending the world anytime soon. So now I think to myself, well, how can I progress this further so it can actually destroy the world? Well, you need to give it access to the real world. So I proceeded to spend a couple of days streaming trying to get it to open a monster can, and yeah, it didn't really go very well. I'm thirsty. Open my monster.
Certainly, sir.
Oh, it's trying.
Deploying mechanical refreshment protocol.
I heard something. Did I just hear something break? Or...
Not good.
But that's only because of my lack of mechanical engineering skills. Like, this thing could end the world if I had any kind of idea how to fabricate shit. Like, I could just give it a gun. Yeah, it's a gun. We're gonna give it a gun. Okay, so we've made our quick modification. Just attach the motor from the gun to a relay. We've got a code uploaded onto the ESP. It's now working. It's really hot in here, so let's test this out. Okay, so we need to put the battery in. Okay, switch the gun on. And then if I go to my computer and if I go to the correct... Okay, the relay worked. The gun didn't. Was it already on? Ah! Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. It works. Now we need to put the gun away properly and then load it with some ammo. That actually gave me a heart attack. Jesus Christ. Okay, so we have J.A.R.V.I.S updated. We have this contraption all set up. Yeah, don't mind the fact that it's probably going to shoot me in the dick. Now I just need to turn it all on. And stand in position. Safety first. I'm gonna wear these. I'm sure these are gonna really help when it shoots me in the cock. Is I need to turn this on. And we will turn that on. J.A.R.V.I.S is running. Hey J.A.R.V.I.S. Just checking you're all up and running and doing okay.
Sir, all systems are operational and ready for your command. As per usual, excellence.
The hopper for the gel blaster is on its side. That may cause issues. Right, you go on there. Hey J.A.R.V.I.S. Fire at will. Oh my god. It didn't actually shoot. I don't know whether the gel blaster is broken or whether it's because it's not stood up properly. Let's try again. Oh my god, it shot one, but it didn't hit me. Okay, well that didn't hurt. I'm less scared of it now. Here we go. Oh, that's definitely pointing at my gonads. Hey J.A.R.V.I.S. Fire at will. Okay, it missed me. Hey J.A.R.V.I.S. Fire at will. It's not hitting me. It's not very accurate, I must say. Fire at will. I can't see anything in these glasses. But the gun's just fucking awful. Now I'm just gonna like crouch right in front of it. Hey J.A.R.V.I.S. Fire at will. Okay. This gel blaster is shit. Well, it shoots. It's a proof of concept. You get it, you get it, you get it.
That about wraps up the video. Obviously, I'm not going to be creating an AI that ends the world anytime soon, but this is just a proof of concept. And this is far from the final video I'll be doing on J.A.R.V.I.S. If anything, it's the start, but I won't be doing another video on the architecture or anything like that. I want to get into using J.A.R.V.I.S. for some stuff. If anyone watching has any good ideas on how I can use J.A.R.V.I.S. in the future, chuck those in the comments down below. I'm all ears. I've got a few ideas in mind already, but I won't bias your answers by letting you know. Thank you for watching this video. If you have made it this far into this video, I'd love a like and a subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And if you want more of me on a more regular basis, you can check out my streams. I've not been streaming the last month while I've been putting this video together, but I did create pretty much all of J.A.R.V.I.S. on the stream, and those VODs are still available for the moment, so you could go back and watch that if you wanted to. Or if not, you can join me on another day where I create another bit of coding stuff, or maybe some electronics, or maybe I'm just going to be playing a game. Who knows? But again, one more time, thank you for watching. I appreciate it if you've stuck this whole way. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.